You know the names. For years, Pham Shiqi and Gao Tai were everywhere. Celebrated icons, the masterminds behind a tech empire that, let's be honest, changed our lives. But for months there had been whispers about financial trouble that just kept getting louder. And then, one morning, it all came crashing down. Today, we're going to break down that exact moment of their arrest, the unbelievable fallout, and what this whole thing really tells us about power and accountability in our world. And then it happened. The clock ticks over to 9:45 a.m., and just like that, all the speculation, all the debate, it's over. An official statement drops. It's brief, to the point, and it confirms what everyone had been arguing about for weeks. The investigation wasn't just talk. It ended with an arrest warrant. In a split second, rumor became cold, hard fact. This was the headline that just exploded onto every single screen. You have to remember how huge these two were, the pristine public image they had. So when this confirmation hit, it wasn't just breaking news. It was a bombshell, a shockwave that ripped through the financial markets and, really, the entire public consciousness. And the effect of that bombshell, it was immediate. I mean, the entire country just stopped. The story didn't just capture people's attention, it completely took it over. Think about it. 1 minute you're watching your regular morning show, the next it's cut to a live broadcast. Your phone buzzes with an urgent alert, you open social media, and it's just a sea of flashing red banners. Everywhere you went, offices, cafes, on the street, it was the only thing anyone was talking about. The news didn't just spread, it saturated everything. But what really made this whole thing feel like something out of a movie was where it all went down. Not in some secluded corporate office or a private mansion. No, this happened at the city's bustling, very public Central Station. You know a Central Station, right? It's organized chaos. Thousands of people just trying to get to work, catch their train, grab a coffee. It's the backdrop to countless, completely ordinary, anonymous moments every single day. But not on this day. Nope. On this day, that ordinary place became a stage for history. Imagine all that noise, the train announcements, the people rushing around. Imagine it all just fading away, replaced by this tense silence and the sound of hundreds of cameras clicking. People who were there said it was just completely surreal. 1 minute, you're worried about being late for work. The next, you're witnessing this massive national event unfold right in front of you. Your normal, everyday commute just slammed right into a moment of reckoning. And here's the detail that really got everyone talking. As Pham Shiqi and Gao Tai were escorted out by officials, they were calm, totally composed. There was no shouting, no struggling, just this quiet, almost serene walk right through the middle of the chaos and into the eye of a national firestorm. The image of that moment, it went absolutely viral. We're talking about a single photograph, shared over 1 million times in the very first hour. That photo of them walking calmly through the station, that became the defining image of this entire story instantly. So the news is out. The picture is everywhere. And what happens next? Well, the country splits right down the middle, immediately, passionate. You basically had two camps forming in real time. On one side, their supporters were in total disbelief. They were saying, these guys are innovators, they're being targeted, we need to wait for the facts. But on the other side, you had the skeptics. And they were basically saying, yep, we saw this coming a mile away. The signs were all there. The shock from their fans was real. You saw comments like this one all over the internet. It really captures that feeling of betrayal, of injustice. To them, these guys were heroes, and this just didn't make sense. But for every person in shock, there was someone else saying this. This comment from an analyst on the radio pretty much summed up the other side. For them, this wasn't a surprise at all. It was a long overdue accountability. So how did we get here? How could people see the exact same event so differently? Well, you've got to look back. This arrest wasn't a sudden explosion. It was more like the final, massive earthquake after months of tremors. It started subtly, an anonymous blog post months ago alleging some shady accounting. Most people just dismissed it. But then, a few weeks ago, a highly respected investigative report came out, and suddenly those whispers felt a lot more real. The stock price started to wobble. Every single move they made, or didn't make, was put under a microscope. So by the time the arrest happened, it felt both completely shocking and somehow totally inevitable. And look, because of who Pham Shiqi and Gao Tai are, this isn't just being seen as the downfall of two people. Far from it. This is being framed as a genuine turning point, something with much, much bigger implications for everyone. So, the billion-dollar question, what's next? Well, the formal legal process is just getting started, and that's going to be a long road. We are expecting some official briefings in the coming weeks that might give us a clearer picture, but for right now, we're all in a holding pattern, just waiting for the next shoe to drop in a story that is far from over. I saw one commentator put it in a way that just hit the nail on the head. They said this has stopped being just about Pham Shiqi and Gao Tai. Now, it's a story about how public perception and private reality can collide so spectacularly. And that feels exactly right. And really, that's the bigger picture here. This whole affair has already grown way beyond the two men at its center. It's forcing a huge nationwide conversation about some really important stuff: corporate accountability, how fragile a reputation can be, and what we should really expect from the people we put on a pedestal. Which leaves us with this one final massive question. It's the question that's going to be debated long after the headlines about this case fade. In a world of celebrity CEOs and corporate power that rivals governments, what does accountability actually look like anymore?